welcome to Fight Sharp. Today we're gonna be talking about Mike Tyson. The 3 reasons I believe Mike Tyson can make a boxing comeback. Mike Tyson is currently 53 years old, and because of that I was just thinking maybe it's a little dangerous for him to fight again. Maybe he shouldn't box. It took me a couple of days to make up some advantages and some disadvantages. Let's start with the disadvantages. Mike Tyson is currently 53 years old, like I said, and usually around the age of 30, the man's body starts to decrease in most bodily functions, testosterone, and a lot of other stuff. And the second disadvantage that Mike Tyson has is called CTE. CTE gets caused by some head injuries, and it can cause your short-term memory to be altered with. It can cause you dizziness, headaches, attention disorder. So these nuts, boy. So these are the 2 disadvantages or bad news that Mike Tyson has. First of all, his body had already started decreasing many years ago, and second is there might be a possibility that he has, I hope not, but he has CTE, because in athletes, boxers are the people who have CTE because they get a lot of punches on their head, and CTE is caused by head injuries. Now, the advantages that I was thinking about and which I believe that are gonna help him, the first one being his athleticism. Now, Mike Tyson is a beast of an athlete. The reason being that he was doing about 500 push-ups, 2,000 sit-ups, and a bunch of more hardcore training. Not to mention the fact all the shadow boxing he did, all the sparring and the bag workout. So yeah, he's one of the athletes who has trained a lot in his life, because he's both nurture and nature. Nurture meaning that he has natural ability to get a lot of muscle mass, but at the same time he's nature because he's shorter than a lot of heavyweights. His trainer D'Amato trained him to hit hard because he gave him a 300-pound bag at the age of 13, and he's been training with that he was training a lot from the age of 13. So that's one of the things that I will call the good news, is the fact that he trained very hard. He has prepared his heart and he's prepared his lungs to endure and resist a lot of pressure and a lot of training. If a person who trains in his older days without having any experience, is always more harder than someone who has started at the age of mine, like 18 years old or 20, even 29 or even 30. But Mike Tyson right now looks shredded, especially with a beard. He looks like an old sage who will give you advice, and he will count to 3, and if you don't get the fuck out of there, he will kill you. Mike's athleticism helps him because he has already trained his heart and his lungs to endure a lot of pressure while training. That helps him because then right now his heart has already trained. It's easy for his heart to pump a lot of blood and his lungs to control the oxygen level. So yeah, that's one of the good news that I was thinking about. The second being his fighting style, the peekaboo style. Now, the peekaboo style is a style that D'Amato taught Mike Tyson, and then Kevin Rooney also helped him. There's a lot of videos of him, doing a lot of pad workout with Kevin Rooney and slipping. So basically, peekaboo helps him slip and duck. He just slips right there. He just slips. So if an opponent is coming this way, he's just gonna slip. If you're coming at me, I'm just gonna slip and stuff like that, or I'm gonna weave like this. I'm just gonna go right to left, and a punch is coming in, he's gonna slip. Because you gotta think that heavyweights hit hard. That's why they're heavyweights. If lightweights hit fast, then heavyweights hit hard. And Mike Tyson has found a way, or his trainer, he has trained a way to have a style which is called peekaboo style, which helps him duck and weave these punches while also looking for opportunities to hit, looking at spots, looking at the ribs, looking at the stomach, and maybe looking for the chin. He just exposes his chin, he just goes for it. But the thing that I'm impressed with peekaboo is his ability, the defense ability. Floyd Mayweather has the slip and roll, I think so. I don't know what it's called. And Mike Tyson has this one, right? He just protects his chin because chin is good, and he just ducks down. So the important part is he's gonna use it. If he comes back, he's gonna use this style, meaning that it's gonna help him. Now, obviously he's slow because he's old now, but he started training with Javier, I think so his name is, and you can see how fast and how swift he is and how precise he is and where he is, and you can listen to the pad, and those sound like gunshots. First of all, his athleticism, and second of all, his ability to duck and weave is gonna help him if he tries to come back. So he's not a hard fighter. Like, he's not gonna just take punches and just freeze. He's gonna use his momentum, even though he's body to body range, which is he's not good with, because he cannot produce a lot of power for his punches because his reach is short, and so he needs a little space to enter and then just punch and then exit. If he's very close to you, then he's gonna use the hard punches, but he can get counteracted. Heavyweights are more taller than him, so they have more advantage because they can just hit down. It's easier to hit down than hitting up, right? Peekaboo is gonna help him 100%, and that's the second advantage in my opinion. Now, for the second reason that I believe Mike Tyson can make a boxing comeback is the fact that there have been fighters who have made a comeback before him. In particular, there are 3 fighters that I'm gonna name. First one being George Foreman. Now, George Foreman fought his last fight at the age of 45. Imagine that, that's professional fighting. And I believe he won 2 championship belts. I think so, the WBA and the other one I don't remember, but yeah, he was still able to, get the gold at the age of 45. The second one is Bernard Hopkins. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He fought his last fight at the age of 49. So that's the second fighter. And as for the third fighter is Larry Holmes. Now, Larry Holmes has history with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson beat him before, but Mike Tyson later admitted that Larry Holmes was not in his prime, just like Muhammad Ali was not in his prime when he fought Larry Holmes. Muhammad Ali was sick, so Larry Holmes fought his last fight at the age of 53. Now, Mike Tyson is also 53. The thing is, I don't believe Mike Tyson is gonna fight professionally. Larry Holmes fought his last fight professionally at the age of 53, and he won by a TKO in the first round. So like I was saying, Mike Tyson, I don't believe that he's gonna fight professionally. I don't believe he's gonna go, toe to toe with Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua. I believe that he has come in terms with himself, and I don't believe he's gonna fight professionally, and I hope not, because that can be very dangerous for him. As the fighting continued, people learned about new stuff. Before Deontay Wilder, there was no Deontay Wilder person with skinny legs who can just decimate you with one blow and punch you and just destroy you with a flick. Boom, you go down. Heavyweights go down. Imagine I'm just gonna die there. I'm just gonna have a brain surgery right in the ring if I want to survive. Alright, so reason number 3, I believe, is his motivation and mentality. Now, in his last fight, which you can watch, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. You can watch that fight. You can watch the post interview where Mike Tyson explains the reason why he was fighting, and the reason was he had financial problems. I believe he was in debt or something, so he had to fight for that. He also explained the fact that he doesn't have it in him to fight. He doesn't like to fight anymore.
No, I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically. I don't have the stomach for this kind of no more. I'm more conscious of my children and those guys looking at my appearance. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Yeah, that's most likely. I'm not going to fight again. I'm not going to disrespect the sport anymore by losing to this caliber of fighters.
Mike, a lot of people wonder what you'll do now with your life. Boxing has been your whole life.
Well, I'm sure I'll find something to do.
Reasons why people really love him is because he's so honest about the things he did bad and the things he did good. We know that in his last fight, we could see it, and then he later explained that he wasn't in a mood to win, and he kind of gave up on fighting, and that was the day that he retired from boxing. Now, right now, Mike Tyson is doing a podcast. His podcast is called, I think so, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and where he interviews a lot of people. Most of them are, mixed martial artists, and a lot of champions come in and they talk about how they look up to Mike Tyson. And, this is one of the things is Mike Tyson, after the retirement, kind of feels like a normal person, but you don't realize Mike Tyson is so big. TV always tries to bring up some controversial stuff just so they can get, the ratings coming in and stuff like that. And I don't like that. I like, if a person is honest and he has freedom of speech, so he just speaks clearly, unlike me, because I'm mumbling. I'm starting to believe that he's enjoying life. So one of the reasons maybe is because he's debt free now. He's doing better in life financially. My point being, now that Mike Tyson is debt-free, he's doing better in life, he has his own podcast, and he has realized that, his ego wasn't his best friend. He has grown from that, and he has grown into something more positive. I love all of his Instagram posts, and because he always looks very positive, which is happy, because usually it doesn't go that way, so I'm happy about that. So I believe that's one of the reasons why he started boxing again. Maybe he has some type of point that he wants to make. Maybe he's excited because he meets a lot of fighters, so maybe he's just excited, like, they're enjoying their life, training and doing something in their life. He's like, maybe I should do it. He's probably excited. He's not a normal person. When he decides to do something, his motivation and his mentality changes. He can do anything because Mike Tyson is the baddest man on the planet. That's the point I'm trying to make. His motivation and his mentality is different from what it used to be. Now he's in a better situation, in a better place. He has everything going for him. He's on fire right now. So I believe money isn't the reason why he's fighting. He's just fighting because he wants to. He probably just wants to train and exercise. And now this is the thing. Another fighter has made a video on Instagram similar to Mike Tyson where they both say, "I'm back." Can be a coincidence that both of them say that exactly, nearly at the same time and with the same training montage, punching and, training. And the name is Evander Holyfield. I believe that they're gonna fight. It's probably gonna be an exhibition match for charity, maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 rounds. And I believe they're not gonna go there trying to kill each other like, the last time they fought. If you haven't checked out the interview of Mike Tyson interviewing Evander Holyfield, you should check it out, because they're like one of the greatest rivals in the history of boxing and combat sport in general. A lot of controversy as well. There's another thing that I wanted to mention, which is I do not believe that Mike Tyson is going to do anything professional, like I said, but I do believe that Mike Tyson is going to be much more active in the UFC and the boxing industry or the community, because I do believe and I do hope that he starts training Francis Ngannou for the boxing match. Yeah, I think he's going to train him. I hope so. The fight that I want to see is Deontay Wilder versus Francis Ngannou. They're both knockout artists and they can both kill each other if they want to. So yeah, these are my 3 reasons which I believe that Mike Tyson is gonna come back. First being the fact that he has that athleticism inside of him, and the second being that his fighting style really helps him weave. That's the science of boxing, hit without getting hit. And peekaboo is one of those styles that complement the science of boxing. The second reason is the fact that he is not alone. There are people who have done this professionally, by the way. And my third reason is, he's in a better place right now with a better situation. I believe that his motivation is different. He's not going there trying to kill people. He's just going there because he's probably excited and he probably just wants to train and do the process like he used to, like a nostalgia feeling, probably like that. So yeah, those are my 3 reasons which I believe Mike Tyson hopefully is gonna come back. My name is Danish, aka Dan. Thank you for checking out Fight Chart, and I'll see you in the next one.
Once I took a roll of that dice, that shit took control of my life. Twice I paid the toll for that price.